aquarianradio.com.
Aloha, this is Enki. You know me as Aquarius, and this is our age, the Sata Yuga. Time to celebrate with us. We have programs on all chakra tantra, love styles and relationship choices, counseling strategies and techniques that you can use at home. We have extraterrestrial radio where we deal with alienology, paranormal people, and we have an experiencers network. We have a section called Ancient Aliens, and the programs therein are Enki Speaks, Nimma, the Mother of Humanity, has her program, and we revise ancient anthropology. And most important of all, we have peace paradigms, because this is the age of peace. Harmony and understanding, sympathy and trust abounding. No more falsehoods or derisions. Golden living dreams of visions, mystic crystal revelations, and the mind's true liberation.
This is Enki.
It is I who 300,000 years ago created your race, and 200,000 years ago, it was a lot of fun, made it even better with some of the pretty girls. And it is I who saved you from the flood, and it is I and my beloved Nimma and my son Ningashiga Thoth who are here to help you overcome my runaway son Marduk or Allah, my brother Enlil or Yahweh, and free yourself from all the supposed gods and recognize your own great potential. You have much to teach us, and we, Anunnaki, those of us from Nibiru, welcome full partnership.
And here are your hosts, Janet and Dr. Sasha Lesson.
Aloha, everyone, and welcome to the Aquarian Radio Network at aquarianradio.com. I'm your host, Janet Lesson, with my co-host, Dr. Sasha Lesson. Today is May 3rd, 2014, and as Janet Lesson, the co-host, I am the bearer of Nimma Consciousness, and my husband, Dr. Sasha Lesson, has a PhD in anthropology from UCLA. Today's show is an episode of Enki Speaks, and it is entitled Nibiru, Anunnaki, and an Ancient Love Story, featuring Enki, Enlil, and Nimma. So, Dr. Lesson, please explain about the feud between Enki and Enlil and the importance of Nimma in the entire whole story.
Okay, let's start with the situation back on the planet Nibiru, the home planet from which the Anunnaki who created us came. Now, Princess Nimma had been engaged by her father, King Anu, to Prince Enki, who is the oldest son of King Anu. Well, the problem was Nimma had a kid named Ninurta with her boyfriend, Prince Enlil. Well, King Anu was really angry, and he forbid Nimma to ever marry after that. And then Anu agreed to breed Enki with Damkina, the son of the usurper king Alalu, so that that was the deal. Alalu would be king, and then when he was finished being king, whatever kid Enki had with Damkina, the daughter of Alalu, would then become the king of Nibiru. Well, Enki and Damkina did conceive, and she bore a child named Marduk, who was supposed to be Alalu's successor. But Anu overthrew Alalu, and Anu did not want Marduk with Alalu's bloodline in line for the kingship of Nibiru. So Anu designated Enlil, his other son, as his successor. Enlil then chose his son with Nimma, the illegitimate kid, as it were, Ninurta, to be the second in command on Earth.
Nimma was in a position to mediate between the Enlilite faction, and the Enlilite faction is Enlil, Ninurta, Nanar, Adad, Utu, and Inanna, and the Enkiite faction, which consists of Enki, Marduk, Nabu, Gibel, Nergal, Dumuzi, Ninagau, Seth, and Horus.
King Anu sent his 3 annoying and quarrelsome kids, Enki, Princess Nimrod, and Enlil, and after a while Ninurta too, to Earth. On Earth, Anu made Enlil, who we call Yahweh, to be commander of the gold mining expedition. Well, Enlil was obsessed with doing better than Enki, who in the Bible is called Adonai. And Enki got the position of chief gold mining and science operations chief.
Yeah, they had a lot of sibling rivalry. On Earth, Enlil, obsessed with besting Enki, courted Nimrod. He and Enki both wanted male children with her, male babies, their half-sister, and she was the only sister, royal sister on Earth, half-sister. Nibiru law held that only the boys that Nimrod would have with somebody would build the royal lines with Enki and Enlil. I'm sorry, you had this kind of accurate sentence. Enlil courted Nimrod, and he said as part of the courting, he said to her, I will bring our son, Ninurta, to Earth. So she wanted that. And the commander promised her a center in Sumer for her doctors. She had a bunch of lady doctors, healers, and he bragged of his plans to lay out expedition settlements in lines across Iraq that would show incoming rockets where to land. It's a landing field. Then Enlil flew Nimrod to his place in Lebanon, and he said this was a perfect place for her seeds that she brought with her from Nibiru. And Nimrod brought these seeds that would make euphoric elixir, a fruit. So this is probably for wines and stuff like that, euphoric elixir. And so she planted them there. At this place, he held and with great fervor kissed her and said, "Oh, my sister, my beloved," he whispered, and they whispered. And he grabbed her by her loins and he made love with her, but he did not pour his semen into her womb.
The story was that she was probably thinking about her the Enki, and that didn't make her very present for Enlil. Anyway, we come to a series of events that is going to lead us to a nuclear disaster on Earth. And this disaster starts with Enlil being upset that he didn't get Nimrod pregnant. After he didn't get her pregnant, she went off to join Enki in Africa. Well, for months, Enlil just mooned around his gardens. He was hurt. He was angry. And he was in the bushes, and through the bushes he saw Sud, Nimrod's gorgeous assistant. Sud bathed nude in Enlil's stream, and he just watched her and the other women on the medical team as they bathed. He was really turned on. Enlil invited Sud to get high on the elixir that he had made from the seeds that Nimrod brought. This is a quote from Sitchin. Sud drank. Enlil drank. To her, Enlil of intercourse was speaking. Unwilling was the lass. Enlil laughed and embraced her, kissed her. Semen into her womb he poured. Rape.
To Nimrod, Sud's commander, the immoral deed was reported. And this quote, "Enlil, immoral one, for your deed, judgment you shall face." So Nimrod to Enlil did say in anger, in the presence of 50 Anunnaki, the 7 who judge assembled. On Enlil they a punishment decreed. Let Enlil from all cities be banished. Let him exiled be. In a sky chamber, which is a plane, they made Enlil leave the landing place of Lebanon, and to a land of no return he was sent in Africa. The tribunal told Abgal, the pilot, to choose Enlil's site.
Abgal helped Enki hide Alalu's nuclear missiles. He had already done that, so he knew where the missiles were. So now this guy Abgal is taking Enlil to be in exile. Well, Abgal betrays Enki. He shows Enlil where Alalu's nukes were hidden. In Africa, at the site where he, Abgal, had chosen to exile Enlil, Abgal secretly defected from Enki, and he allied himself with Commander Enlil. Now, Enki thought the nukes were hidden, But Abgal told Enlil, quote, "At the right time, seize the missiles and prevail over all rivals. With the weapons, your freedom obtain."
So the 7 who judge assembled and also made Enlil wed Sud. While Enlil viewed the missiles in Africa and Sumer, Sud's womb swelled. Enki and the tribunal sympathized with her and asked if she would marry Enlil. If he made her his royal wife, she would. She agreed. So he was invited to return to Lebanon, and he married Sud, and he professed sexual conservatism, meaning he was monogamous with her. He kept secret his knowledge of the nukes, the secret cave of the nukes. And Sud, now that she was married to Enlil, became Ninlil, which means Lady of Command, and she bore Nanar. And Nanar was the first Nibiran royal born on Earth, and then she later bore Adad, which is also known as Ishkur.
Now, Ninmah had spurned Enlil, and part of her motivation was that she could explore with her former fiancé Enki. And Enki told her, "Come with me to Africa." Abzu, they called it. "Your adoration of Enlil abandoned. Come to my genetics lab in South Africa," he said. Well, in Africa, Enki to her words of loving spoke. Sweet words he spoke. "You are still my beloved," he said to her, caressing. He embraced her. He kissed her. She caused his phallus to water. This is a quote. Enki his semen into the womb of Nimrod poured. "Give me a son," he cried. If he could beget a son with Nimrod, the boy would be considered a rival to Enlil and the sons of Enlil.
But Nimrod bore a daughter, Ninsun. Enki then impregnated Ninsun, as she got older, who also bore a daughter. When Enki asked his daughter with Ninsun to beget a son with him, Nimrod was enraged and her pride was wounded. She brewed an irresistibly delicious and intoxicating elixir full of deadly herbs. As Enki drank, she cursed him. He fell to the ground with his cup in hand, and she wanted him to suffer. He began to shrivel up and age rapidly. His skin turned into a putrid yellow. King Anu was forced to plead with her to relinquish her curse and evoke healing magic. Enki recovered and begged Nimrod forgiveness, but she never again let herself fully trust men. And to distance himself from Nimrod's vulva, Enki by raised arms swore, and from her curse Enki was freed. And to the Eden, Iraq, Nimrod returned.
So Enki consoled himself. He flew Erishkigal, who was Enlil's son, Nanar's daughter, the grandson of Enlil, Erishkigal. Enki gave her a ride on his aircraft to Cape Arguelles in South Africa's tip. Enlil had wanted Erishkigal to run the Cape's astronomical climate and earth monitoring station down there in the South African fief. Well, this was the area that was controlled by Nergal, one of the sons of Enki. Well, en route to Arguelles, Enki seduced Erishkigal and left her with Ningishita, who we'll see gets known as Thoth later, in her womb. So there Enki drops her off. Erishkigal is pregnant, and so he's consoled himself. Now he got his yayas out, and he sends for his wife. Enki sends back to Nibiru, "Send Kina, send our son Marduk." And so Ningishita, after a while, comes to join Papa Enki, and then Nimrod comes down to the lab in South Africa. Enki's son Nergal, who is a bald guy and limping since birth, a very powerful guy, bossy, had run all the South African mines for the Enkiites. And when he saw Erishkigal, an Enlilite, a princess coming down to his turf, he felt crowded. He attacked her. He was going to kill her. But she said, "Hey, don't kill me. Marry me."
So to this day, the adapted hybrid Nibirans, remain trapped in a rivalry between Enki and Enlil over Nimrod. We are, yes. Nowadays, the followers of Enki's son Marduk, who came to be called Ra, Amen, and Satan, battle with the followers of Enlil, who came to be called Yahweh or Jehovah. Time we dropped rivalry based on this ancient romance, pre-modern concepts of hierarchy, and the denigration of females that both Marduk and Enlil exhibit. I want to ask you something, honey. So you're saying that Marduk is Satan. What makes you say that?
Oh, I don't say that. It's just that in the Bible that Yahweh's disciples that were in Haran, in part of the Babylonian Empire, that had been taken there as hostage by Nebuchadnezzar, called him, designated him in such a way that, as far as they were concerned, Marduk was the enemy, was the Satan. However, it's a bit confused, and what I've come to, I know in the intro we said that we thought Marduk was Allah, but I've really done a lot more research, and I'm pretty well convinced that it's much more likely that it was Nanar rather than Marduk who is Allah. Now, who Satan is, I don't know. I think Satan's the other guy. Whoever you don't like is Satan.
I think it just means adversary. So,
adversary.
Oh, you're Satan. You're the adversary. So everything's adversarial. Okay, I think that's it for this episode of Enki Speaks. So we have several books available on Amazon.com. We have Anunnaki, Gods No More by Dr. Sasha Lessin. We have Anunnaki, Legacy of the Gods by Dr. Sasha Lessin and myself, Janet Carroll Lessin. Soon coming, before, I'd say in about 2 months, is Anunnaki Timeline. And I have a new book coming out in a few days called Dance of the Souls, Pierce the Veil. And all these books are going to be available on Amazon.com by Janet Carroll Lessin and Dr. Sasha Lessin. So that's all for today. Thank you for joining us. I am your host, Janet Carroll Lessin, and
this is Dr. Sasha Lessin.
Aloha, love and blessings, live from Maui, Hawaii.
You call this love, this trembling emotion. It looks like pain, though I'm touched by your devotion. You come to me, your heart in your hand, torn from your breast. Though never by love's command, I've heard this now from many different aching souls. I've felt it too. We all get to play sometimes the painful roles in the drama and the dance, the risk of life's romance. But isn't there another word to use? Love is not a game. Love is not a game. To win or lose. Once in a while, I have felt my heart spill over, explode in space, a radiant supernova. And then I don't care if I'm alone at all. The earth could melt and the sun could fall. When the chariot of God I ride deep inside. You call this love. You call this love.
That was You Call This Love? That was called You Call This Love by Jaiya Earthchild. You Call This Love, Jaiya Earthchild. Thank you.